They say that you have to be doing stand-up for like at least 10 years before you film your special. But I don't plan on living that long, so...
Jeff Hobbs, everybody! One more. Sorry, I still have to set this up.
You want help?
Why help will you? You're taking, man. Come on. Sorry, just got to film this for my parents. Not to get too real off the top, they couldn't be here tonight. They didn't want to, so we're just gonna just keep looking confused. It'll be like they're here with us, you know? Thank you. Damn, did the Twin Towers fall in this room? Because I'm looking at 9/11s, good looking crowd out there. Yep. You might be thinking, hey, which 9 of us? If you have to ask, not you. All right. A little bit about me. I'm a pretty forgetful person. Wait, that reminds me. How the hell are we doing, everybody? Hey! What is this, live at the library? What was that? I said, how the hell are we doing, everybody? When I say hey, you say ho. Anyways, I'm a pretty forgetful person. So I do like to have notes on stage with me when I perform, just so I get to everything. Just, hey, can I say the jokes I wrote? Doesn't that sound fun? You know, put those right there. I'm also a pretty forgetful person, in that order, hello. So I do like to have notes on stage with me, just so I don't, sorry, we might have to cut the video. I do have to get my, Barris, you forget these? All right. I'm a pretty forgetful person. The other day, my mom sat me down. She said, Jeff. I'm assuming she was talking to me. She said, Jeff, you remember she was getting out of hand, man. You got to go see that specialist. And I was like, memory issues. And I was like, memory issues? Well, that's the first time hearing about this. I'm a pretty all right. No, but it is true, man. You get a lot of flack, a lot of criticism for having notes on stage. You know, they call you lazy, like, what, you couldn't learn your material? And that hurts, man, because, like, I've been dealing with short-term memory loss for as long as I can remember, you know? Okay. Point of that, man, you know, it used to make me very sad, very down, very insecure when people would say I couldn't have notes on stage. You know, I've been doing this for a while now. Now when people say, you can't have notes on stage, I say, hey, ask me if I care. I said, ask me if I care. Damn, yes, I'm talking to you. Do I care? Do I? Not a dance. Chance. Not a chance. And now you might be thinking, Jeff? I'm assuming you're thinking of me, you're thinking Jeff? That's just the same joke twice in a row, man. Can't do that either. Yeah, ask me if I care. Do I care? About what? But no, this is good, man. I get very distracted on stage. You know, it's good to have something to, like, keeps me chained to the ground, you know, so I don't go off on a bunch of tangents, you know? I got what they call ADHD. And if you're chuckling, you know what's going on. You're thinking, wait a minute. Doesn't this guy... Doesn't this guy mean ADHD? No. Because I don't think it's a disorder. I think it, like all of God's gifts, is a blessing. Though it can be pretty debilitating, so I guess it's technically ADHD-B. Which is not ADHD-P. That's when you have sex with two guys, but they change positions every 30 seconds. You know? And it's not ADHD VD. That's when you get a venereal disease from the DP, It's not ADHD MV. That's when your mom's like, wait, what am I talking? Hold on. 9/11. Oh yeah, my uncle. I got an uncle. Yeah, that's my uncle. He was a wire walker, Walked on wires, hence the term. And his dream was to always walk between, say it with me now. That's right, the Twin Towers. Yep, unfortunately he never got to do that. He never got to achieve his dream because, as we all know, in 2001, that's right, he got arrested for drunk driving. Yep. Did not get to do it. Missed the window. Unlike those other guys. Come on now, Come on, hey, we're having fun here. When he got out of jail, right, he hadn't heard the news, right? So he comes up to me, he's like, Jeff, I'm assuming he's talking to me, he's like, Jeff, I think I'm finally ready to make that walk, man. Like, I got good news, man. It got way easier since the last time you checked, Although, no, failing to walk a straight line on the ground is what got him into this mess in the first place. That's a smart joke. You'll get it on the ride home. Also, hi, by the way. I think I should have put that a little higher because hi, hello. My name is Jeff. My name is Jeff. I was named after my father. His name's Bruce. He was just named before I was, There's more to me than meets the eyes. I try to smell. Bad, Sorry, guys, that's my bad, But I am like all of you, I'm like all of you. Every morning I put my pants on, one pair at a time. Start every day with a coffee and 2% milk, 98% cereal. My tear ducts are connected to my nipples. So I guess I'm not like you, come to think of it, but that's true. My tear ducts are in my nipples, so when I cry, I actually lactate through my eyes, Friends saw it happen once. They were so shocked, they dropped a glass of water. I had to be like, hey, no use spilling over cried milk. Joggers run in my family. Cannibals also run in my family. They just love fast food. Come on now. I'm a gamer. I like to play games. I've invented a game I like to play. It's called Am I Stronger Than That Guy Over There? It's a pretty fun game. Anybody can play. Basically what you have to do is you pick a guy and you find out if you're stronger than they are. And if you are, your prize is whatever they're holding. Got a lot of phones if anyone's interested in one of those. In buying it, not giving it back. I got it fair and square. I did technically sneak up on them, as it goes. I'm pro peer pressure. I'm a pro peer pressure person. I love peer pressure so much, man, because it's so easy. People don't realize how easy peer pressure is. Peer pressure is so easy.
How easy is it?
But you didn't want to do that, but you did anyways. God, I'm glad that worked. Wow, that would have been a real dead zone right off the top, eh? I don't know, man. Sometimes I worry I lack clarity, on stage, but also off, because there are times where I'll be talking to someone, and I'll keep talking to them, and I'll keep talking, then it's their turn to respond. They have no idea how to respond. Yeah, see, just lose people somewhere in the middle there, I guess. I do like peer pressure, but I was reading something on the way here. Yeah, I read. Ladies, hello, I'm a reader. And I was reading something on the way here. It says that every day, 7 out of 10 people succumb to peer pressure, and that I don't like. I don't think anybody should be peer pressured to suck cum. Speaking of, though, I was getting roadhead recently, fellas. Yep. Well, anybody can get roadhead. I guess I was getting roadhead pretty cool. Only problem is that she was driving. Me crazy with her whack-ass technique, fellas. You know what I'm saying out there? Just drooling all over my shorts, my new shorts, man. Using teeth, peeling it like a damn potato. Shaving that shit down like a baby carrot. I mean, a normal-sized carrot. A big carrot. Big a Bugs Bunny-sized carrot. Saying all this weird stuff psyching me out. Like, are you hard yet? Like, baby, please, I'm trying to focus on the road here. Come on now. I couldn't take it, man. From now on, any roadhead I'm getting, I'm giving. That's right, I'm sucking myself off on the highway from now on. Auto-fellatio, they call it. And if you didn't get that, it's okay. You'll get it on the drive home. Okay. I did recently give into peer pressure myself, I got one of those carbon monoxide detectors you hear about. You know, I gotta admit, man, it did explain a lot about the last few months, you know? Answered a lot of questions I had, like, why am I always dizzy? You know? What's that hissing sound coming from, you know? Why'd my canary die, you know? What's going on here? I thought I had a snake in the room, you know? I guess in hindsight I should have figured something was wrong when I put my key in the front door and turned it, the whole house rev like an engine, but doesn't have to make sense. I had a gas leak, that's right. But growing up, I had a very sheltered childhood. I had a very sheltered childhood growing up because I lived in a home. I come from what they call a broken home, which is ironic because my parents were carpenters. I was kept in a crawl space as a baby. As a baby, I was locked in a crawl space. I mean, a crib, technically, still sad though, you know. I was a stillborn baby. Parents didn't want me, stillborn baby, that's right, and that's why we're here today. I grew up to be a gifted child. I was a gifted child growing up, gifted to an orphanage. It's okay though, I got taken in by a couple that couldn't have kids of their own. And the cops took me back because technically they weren't allowed to have kids of their own, you know, it goes, you know. While I was in their care though, they homeschooled me, you know, schooled me from home, hence the term. So growing up, my education was a little different than yours, you know, in minor ways, you know. For example, in my science class, when I learned how to dissect a frog, I also learned how to stuff drugs in its body, sew it back together. So that's not the only thing they taught me, come to think of it, you know. But no, things are good for me, man. Don't worry about me. Things are on the up and up. I've been living in a mobile home. Got a little mobile home I'm living in, you know. Yes. I mean, my car, technically, but still mobile, you know. Which does explain the engine thing from earlier, come to think of it, you know. You might be thinking, now, Jeff, how the hell did you get a gas leak in a car, you know? I don't know for sure. I have one theory, though. So you got a hose hooked up to the exhaust that feeds back in through the window, right? Oh, I'm the only recycler in here? Is that what's going on, man? You see those prices, they keep going up. My gas stays the same, buddy. Come on now. In lighter news, I found my lighter. Gonna go back to smoking in my car in no time. Yes. I have a lot of respect for people that graffiti trains, you know? So how do they run that fast? I'm just saying, man, if I was gonna graffiti a train, probably do a really long, straight line, you know? Gotta work smarter, not harder out there, folks, you know? I just stopped going to my favorite bar. I'm a bit of a drinker, you know, but I just stopped going to my favorite bar. There were signs I should stop going to my favorite bar. The main one being the photo of me they put up that says, "Don't serve this man," you know? Blurry photo, pretty clear sign, you know? I don't know, I've been fooling around. I've been fooling around, you know, been getting into mischief. Just don't tell mischief, you know what I'm saying out there? Come on now. A drowning person will fight you if you try to save them. Some of you might know that. You know, a person will fight you if they're drowning, you try to save them. We might not know is the opposite is also true. That's right, a person will fight you if they're not drowning, you try to kill them. Here's another fun fact. Don't say you don't learn anything at a comedy show. The easiest method of weighing a dog, if you have a dog, you pick up the dog, step on the scale, and subtract your weight from the total, right? It's also a great way to lie about your own weight, I learned, you know? You know? Like, well, the scale says 235, and hey, I'm a lean 160, so I don't know what to tell you, man, your chihuahua's 75 pounds. Yeah, I'm on a diet. Believe it or not, I'm on a diet. I can only eat fish on this diet, you know? But I still miss the taste of chicken sometimes, so on my cheat days, I'll eat a pelican. My rich friend, I got a rich friend, and yes, my rich friend, his prized possession is a marble statue of the head of a Greek god. It's cool, man. When I get rich, I'm getting my own statue, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Went to a theme park today, The theme was dog. Got a puzzle, you know, all the pieces were the same color, you know, it's one of those solid color puzzles meant to test your mental fortitude, and not to brag, it only took me 2 hours to figure out it was upside down. I was approached by the Make-A-Wish Foundation. They asked if I'd be willing to spend a day with some sick kid. I'd rather spend it with a celebrity if I get a choice. John Cena busy, I get this guy, come on. I totaled my car. There's one. I got a bumper sticker on my car, and a bumper sticker says, "Honk for Jesus, man," so I can feel better with my shitty driving. You know, I'm cruising, I cut someone off, they honk their horn, it's like, hey, God's plan, you know? Sometimes they'll pull up to me, give me one of these, I'm like, hey buddy, ain't that cross missing something? Come on now, hallelujah, come on, man. I had to get car insurance recently, or home insurance if you're paying attention. I had to get car insurance. I just had to go with Geico, you know, I went in that office, I was like, hey man, I want to save 15% or more on car insurance. This guy's like, now how the fuck did you know we offered that? Did you read our pamphlet? Someone up front tell you? And I was like, are you kidding me, man? I knew about that from the get-go. Something for everything here, folks. Come on. Wanted to go see that new kids movie in theaters. You know, they got that new kids movie in theaters. Wanted to go. But, you know, probably not great to go alone, you know. I figured that out, you know. I guess in hindsight I could have brought the Make-A-Wish kid. But instead I snuck in, disguised as one kid in a trench coat, you know. My uncle's an ambulance chaser. That's right, my uncle's a dog. I got catfish recently, You know, it sucks, man, it's the worst, man. There I was, swimming in a shallow river. Then some dude shoves his fist on my throat, pulls me, takes a photo, and tosses me back? It's like, buddy, I'm not a piece of meat here, I'm a piece of fish, come on. Worst part wasn't drowning, couldn't fight him back. That was the worst part of that, you know? And, they say to shake what your mama gave you. But no matter how hard I try, I just can't shake that Oedipus complex, folks. No, sir. Today's a day of excitement. I have a celebration, you know. As of this month, my girlfriend, well, first piece of news, I got a girlfriend, yes. Sorry, ladies, he's trapped. But, you know, as of this month, got some pretty exciting news. As of this month, my girlfriend has been a Canadian citizen for 10 years. Shout out to her, you know. I knew we had to do something big, something special. Took her to her favorite restaurant, Chuck E. Cheese. It was my girlfriend's my of-age girlfriend. Just to be clear, it was my of-age girlfriend. These are just jokes, folks. But it was her birthday recently. She turned the big over 18, you know. She had her birthday. She said that for her birthday she wanted to have a candlelit dinner. So we ate the birthday cake. For a gift, she wanted a dog. You know, she wanted us to become dog parents together. The problem is we couldn't agree on what kind of dog to get. You know, she wanted to get a small dog. I want to get a real dog. We couldn't really find a compromise, you know. But then she thought of something. You know, I came home from work and I found out that she had gotten herself a small dog, and she got me a magnifying glass. In case you don't know what a magnifying, whatever. No, I was fine with it, man. It's a rescue dog, you know, and I'm okay with that, you know. She found this dog in the street, you know, shivering cold, alone. She brought it home, you know, was wearing this necklace that said, if found, please call Jack Ainsley. Not what we were going to call him, but Jack's a good dog, you know. Very well trained. Always waiting to go out for some reason, but we'll leave him, you know. You're not getting lost again, mister, you know. My girlfriend and I, we have been trying for kids. We've been trying for kids. Haven't had a lot of luck, you know. Not a lot of unsupervised ones at Chuck E. Cheese, you know. We got some sex toys to spice things up in the bedroom. We got some sex toys. Now, whenever we want to get in the mood, we put on hand puppets, make them have sex first. If we're feeling adventurous, we'll throw a Barbie in there, you know? Hey, man. I don't know. We have been having some troubles in the bedroom. We have been having some difficulties in the bedroom, you know? Bed bugs, mostly. That's why I'm last. They can't touch the microphone after I leave. So, you know, we've been living with her parents as bedbugs. We've been living with her parents, trying to avoid the problem at home. Any fans of metaphors in the room? You know, we've been living with her parents, you know. And her parents are kind of old school, kind of prudish, you know, like this. They wouldn't even let us sleep together. Yeah, I said I had to sleep with my girlfriend. It's like, buddy, you go to the restaurant to order the food you have at home? Any fans of metaphors in here, you know? Obviously, these are older jokes. Believe it or not, I wrote these a while ago. You know, got an exciting update for you guys. As of a while ago, my girlfriend is officially pregnant. Thank you. Those of you that didn't cheer, fair enough. I get it. But my girlfriend is pregnant. And the reason I am single now, ladies. Hello. Yeah, we're expecting to to never see each other again. That's right. No, I'm lying, of course. She's pregnant, so we're going to get married. We've been having the last name discussion. You know, who takes whose last name? She take mine because that's what's expected. I take hers to be progressive. We've been talking about it. And I decided, and I've come here tonight to tell you all, that I'm going to take her last name. Yep, taking her last name, getting rid of it. You know what I'm saying, fella? You know what I'm saying, man? Come on, yeah. Whoop, got him. Why'd you go for that, man? What's up? No, it doesn't matter. We already have the same last name. Yeah, usually the audience pulls away at the incest implication there. Why, does incest hit a little too close to home for you? Come on now. Growing up, I wanted to be like my hero, Kurt Cobain. That's right, blonde. And then briefly a redhead. What, something happened? I gave blood recently. I'm a good guy. I gave blood recently. I did keep the receipt, though, in case I change my mind later, you know. I got a friend. My friend's an interpretive dancer, you know. Went to a recital. My interpretation is that she fucking sucks at dancing. What the hell was that, man, you know? Went to the casino recently. To gamble, in case that wasn't clear, you know, I'm a gambler, you know. Usually I like the tables, man, I'm a table guy, you know, blackjack, roulette, buffet, what can I say, you know. But this most recent time I went to the casino was actually the machines. You know, I couldn't get past the machines at those casinos, man. I don't know, there's just something about the way they spit out insufficient funds that just kept me right where I was, you know. I also went to a glory hole, seeking salvation. Sorry, salivation. Yeah, that makes more sense, you know. Hosted a party recently, and you weren't invited. I hosted a party recently, yes, but it got ruined, man. A bunch of narcs showed up, ruined my party. Started falling asleep all over the place. My friend did what he could. He was offering cocaine to people. You know, he's offering cocaine. You know, he's going around offering people key bumps. I had to say, sorry, man, can't do it. My nose is pushed to start. I was at the grocery store recently, as I'm sure we all are. I was at the grocery store. They had a little sign on the whatever, it doesn't matter. On the, you don't care. There was a sign that said, $1 from every purchase will go to fight local hungry youth. Haven't they been through enough? Give them the $1, man. Hell, I'm fighting them for free. Give me the $1. I don't know, man. Kids are always getting screwed. Kids are always getting screwed over, eh? You notice that, you know? I saw this ice cream truck. Big, bold letters on the back. Watch for children. They don't want that. Oh, do they? Do kids go to the ice cream truck for a watch? What, are you crazy? Come on, man. I don't know, man. I'm glad we all got that together, kind of. Thank you. Not the worst deal I've ever heard, though. Not the worst trade, man. Someone came up to me, they asked if I wanted to shave my head for cancer. I was like, I don't want either of those things. What are you talking about, dude? No. Shave my head? Cancer? Come on. And, my cousin, I got a cousin. But my cousin's a cop. But my cousin's a crooked cop. He's also a bike cop. You know? I guess what I'm trying to tell you all tonight is that my cousin is a crooked bike cop. So he's always falling off the damn thing. It's like, buddy, your center of gravity is over there. You're like this out there, man. Come on. Before he was a cop, my cousin was dishonorably discharged from the military. You know, my cousin was dishonorably discharged from the military. It gets a hard time for my family, but not me, man. I can empathize. Because every night I dishonorably discharge into a sock. Pretty bad at keeping secrets, you know, believe it or not. Yeah, not great at it, you know. I'm pretty bad at keeping secrets. You know, like the other day I was hanging out with my buddy Mark, right? Technically his name's Travis, right? He's in witness protection. Anyways, well, it's not Travis Malone, it's a different... Thank you so much. My name's Jeff Hobbs, everybody. I'm not done. I was just saying thanks. Had a pretty big weekend. I had a pretty big weekend. On Thursday, my sister, keep those clapping hands ready, my sister gave birth to a beautiful baby boy, eh? Shout out to her. Hey, why can you call a baby beautiful but not good looking? That's a relatable content I had planned. Let's just go back to, my sister did give birth to a beautiful baby boy. It was a surprise pregnancy. No, it turned into a surprise birth. She just thought she got fat. She didn't know what was going on, so we kind of had to improvise a bit. She gave birth in the back of a FedEx truck. Yeah, worst part, didn't sign up for express delivery. Took a week, man. A lot of gas burned on that, man. It was a surprise. My sister knew she wouldn't be able to take care of a kid. She had to give it up for adoption. Gifted children run in my family too, I guess. Whatever, it's fine. That was like 4 minutes ago. You're off the hook. Point is that my sister had to give this baby away. We asked the FedEx driver to go to the orphanage. Didn't have a blanket, so we had to swaddle the baby in a box. The driver put the baby on the front step, rang the doorbell. We drove away. And the story is a happy ending. The baby was adopted right off the front porch. It's a package theft joke. What do you think? I thought it was pretty good. I don't know. I don't know. No parent should ever have to bury their own child. It's definitely a service the funeral home should provide for you, in my opinion. My friend, I got a friend. But my friend, he came to me with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That's right, murder-suicide. I was gonna do it, but the bonehead messed up the order. It's like, okay, man, you snooze, you lose, I guess. I saw something pretty crazy the other day. I saw this lady, right? I know, crazy, I saw this lady, and she took a key and just stabbed it in the side of a car door and just dragged it across the frame, man. Like, she must be blind or something. That sucks. I'll get it when you're older. Oh, you I have a friend a few years ago, my friend moved to Europe, he moved to France, I don't know, man, I feel like there's been distance growing between us, man, like we've been drifting apart, man. I blame the tectonic plates, personally. Went to go visit my friend, got on the plane, we had some turbulence on the tarmac. Or as you non-flyers call it, sorry, an earthquake. You gotta dumb your comedy down these days, okay? While I was over there in Paris, I signed up for a tour of France. Way more biking involved than I expected, man. That was didn't get to see anything. It was all just a blur, man. We're just going. I'm a palm writer. What do you think? Is that anything? Should I leave? Wait. Should I leave that in? What do you think? Okay. My girlfriend, I got a girlfriend. My girlfriend has a sleep apnea machine, If you don't know what that is, it's basically like a machine for sleep apnea. And if you don't know what it does, it basically sends a consistent stream of air through your passageways just to keep them open and clean through the night. For a very similar but unrelated reason, I have a sleep enema machine. I was hanging out with a bodybuilder recently. You might have heard of him. Dr. Frankenstein. Right on. My prom was a real Cinderella story, Specifically the first half when she stayed home and cleaned. Bunch of rats running around, making a mess, throwing beads everywhere, what happened in that movie. I have a controversial opinion. I like when people put flyers in my windshield wipers, man. I like that. I leave them in there, man. People put a little flyer in my windshield wiper, I leave it there, man. It reaches all the parts in the window that the windshield wiper misses when it gets it all, man. Very useful. All division is long division. If you fucking suck at division, we got there, okay. Thank you for reading the script ahead of time. Going to the movie like, I know what happens next, come on, man. Was watching a movie the other night with the old ball and chain. Fellas, you know what I'm talking about. Was watching a movie with the old ball and chain. That's right, my penis and balls, That's what we call him, right? Don't have a job. That's something about me, I'm looking for a job. They say if you want to get a job, you have to send at least 100 resumes. But they don't say that it has to be to different companies. Learn that the hard way, Complete waste of time. Also, you don't have to write 100 resumes. You just have to send the one. They don't tell you that either, man. Oh, we all knew, eh? Well, I mean, luckily we found out because I was running out of ways to put detail-oriented, you know? Point is that, man, I got a job interview. Thank you so much. But don't clap. We got to keep going. I got a job interview, you know? Maybe do a urine sample test. I had to do a urine sample test. Failed it, man. Could not figure out whose piss it was. Worst part, get this. It was my own. They were just giving it back. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know how this works. It's my job interview, man. They're like, can you explain the gap in your resume? Like, I don't know. I nibble paper when I'm hungry, man. I don't know. I went around the experience. You still read it, you know? They're like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, I don't know. A crystal ball? Is that what those things do? You look in the future, you know? I don't know. I don't know, man. It really blew that job interview. And I got the job. That's right. Yes, sir. I've been working at the Satisfactory. It's okay. No, that's a joke, you fool. No, that's a joke, you fools. No, I've been working at a plastic recycling plant. You know, very noble. You know, we turn discarded ocean-bound plastic into plastic that we head into the ocean just a few weeks later. You know. I don't know. Take those bottle caps, melt them down to those Kinder Egg toys, you know, the ones you're like, oh wow! Throw it in the trash, we take that, make it a bottle cap again, you know? I'm just saying if I die, we're fucked, so just keep me alive. I got bit by a radioactive lawyer, and it gave me the power of attorney. Sure, I'll get vulnerable. Why not, man? I'm a pretty insecure person day to day. You know, I look at the ground. I look at my shoes when I walk. I don't look around. My friend called me out, said I look very unconfident, man. So you gotta fake it till you make it. Challenge me for one day. Couldn't look at my shoes at all. Had to keep my head held high, look at the world around me, man. So I tried it. You know, I spent a whole day, didn't look at my shoes once, kept my head held high. And I can confirm I do feel confident. Confident I stepped in dog shit at some point. On the plus side, I did get over my bad habit of narrating my own life, which is good. Or so we thought. Okay. Hey, check this one out. I took too many placebos. Thought I was gonna die. I got this kid's book in my room. His mom is pissed. Man. Left my bong outside and a bee got into it. There was a bee in my bong. Worst part, I didn't even see the bee till it was too late and I smoked it. That's right, I smoked the bee in my bong. I know what you're thinking, and yes, it did make the weed a little bit sweeter. And it left me with quite a buzz, you know. Come on now. Some people that care about bees, you know, they come up to me after the show, they say, Jeff, I'm assuming they're talking to me, I've stopped listening, but they say, Jeff, what happened to the bee, man? Is the bee okay? And I will say, you know, at first the bee was very angry, very volatile, but then I smoked it, it got very, like, calm and docile. It's a beekeeper joke. Any beekeepers in here that can verify that's a good joke, you know? No? Okay. I'm a beekeeper. I became a beekeeper, never planned on it, just can't get them out of my fucking car. Someone recently told me that squirt is actually pee. I mean, this whole time I've been pissing on my girlfriend? My girlfriend is sober. That's a fun fact. My girlfriend is sober. She asked me to get sober with her, something we could do together as a couple, you know. So I'm happy to announce that for the last 3 months, I have been lying to her. That's right, folks, you know. We went to dinner recently, you know, and I was like trying to kick my feet under the table. We started playing footsie. You know, we had some footsie under the table. Pretty romantic. The problem was I was trying to get dog shit off my shoes. She kept getting in the way. You know? Yeah, I gotta type with the ladies, and they can always tell too, man, you know? Because every time I bring a lady home, not anymore because I have a girlfriend, but before I used to bring a lady home, we'd get comfortable, we'd slip into bed. They'd always fit in the exact same grooves on my memory foam mattress. I'm sure the mattress would find it funny, all right? Well, how about this then? I fucked a girl with a peg leg this one time. Yes, sir, really hope she didn't notice. I could not get hard. Hot cross buns. 1 a penny, 2 a penny, hot cross buns. Thank you, that's my favorite haiku. Here's another haiku. It goes, ba ba black sheep have you any wool? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags full of wool, you know. I was in an elevator today, and yes, I was in an elevator today. This old lady gets in the elevator with me, asks me to hit the button for her. I was like, where do you get off? I'd like to do some impressions for you folks. You know, I'm an impressionable guy, and I'd like to do some impressions. Here's my impression of a cowboy questioning the depth of a body of water. Howdy, Here's my impression of a bad prop comic. Where the fuck are all my props, you know? You guys want to hear my impression of a bad improviser? No, you don't. I'm also an impressionist. I do impressions inspired by the impressionist art movement of the 19th century. Here's my impressionist impression of Barack Obama. Thank you, it's called Let Me Be Clear. What if I turned around and was just in blackface all of a sudden? Wouldn't that be something? For maybe next time. Well, no, not, okay. Okay. Took the subway to get here, as I'm sure many of us did, you know. I took the subway to get here, you know, and I had the classic experience. There was a crazy guy on the subway, you know, walking down the line, bugging everybody. I hoped if I avoided eye contact, he'd walk by, but sure enough, before I know it, this crazy guy standing over me, tapping me, trying to get my attention. It's like, all right, let's get this over with. You know, take my headphone out, right? This crazy guy standing there talking to me like, proof of payment, please. It's like, buddy, do you mind? I'm trying to jack off over here. Keep going, man. Come on. And that's where I get off. That's right. Okay. No. We already did that. We're not doing it again. Not only do I never repeat myself, but I will never say the same thing twice. Dental coverage? What do you mean, my fucking lips? Peking duck? Well, what's it looking at, you know? Saw this news story about these counterfeit lottery tickets. Like, yeah, where else are they going to fit them, man? That's where they go, the counter. Cocker spaniel? Well, which is it? Hey, yo, fellas! Don't you hate it when you're getting oral sex from a grandmother? Then all of a sudden she starts to huff and puff and blow in your dick. You're like, is that a freaking wolf and drag down there, man? Not again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me once, twice, shame on me. No. I'm just looking for a G-ma on my wiener. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get a no-na on my boner. Said I got a dog on my hog. Gnawing on my bone? No! I even said, man, I called it out. I said, my grandma, what great big teeth you had. She said, oh, the better to suck you off with. I should have known. That's not a transferable skill set there. That lumberjack, I met a lumberjack. He said that she had that dog in her. I just thought he meant she was a freak. Now I gotta have a dog in me? I already got 2 wolves in me. I don't need a third. Fuck boys. I'm gonna take that again. I don't like that. Dang, fellas. Things are getting expensive these days. You know how expensive things are these days? You kidding me? Went to the grocery store, cost me $400. Yeah, I know, like I was a pack of gum. And caught shoplifting. Things are expensive, man. Took the subway to get here. You know, there's a cute girl on the subway. I'm not in a relationship anymore for this joke. There was a cute girl on the subway. Wanted to get her number, you know, but you know, she had headphones on, didn't want to disturb her, right? But she also had a book, so I knew that she could read. So what I did is I drafted a note, right, introducing myself, stating my intentions, put it in the seat next to her, sat back down. She opened the note, was not into the note, which fair enough, you know. I think in hindsight, my first mistake was writing it with letters I cut out of magazines. But hey, judge me all you want. I still got a date out of it. It is a court date, but I will be there. A necklace is a pretty bad gift to get for someone who's necklace. And under the right circumstances, we're all just volunteer firefighters waiting for an arsonist. And to an arsonist, every place is a fireplace. I got a raccoon trap to trap a raccoon, go figure, you know, but it didn't work, you know. So I threw it in the garbage, then it worked. I also got a laser pointer, maybe a lazier pointer. Come on now, you know. Guess you had to be there. I also got a bulletproof vest. Hopefully, you know, we'll find out. I was stranded in the desert the other day, you know. Nothing but my supplies and the camel I rode in on, you know. I knew if I didn't get anything to drink soon, I would die. Then I remember that camels actually store water in their humps, you know. I'm not proud of this, but I took a straw and I broke the camel's back. Like a juice box. I blew it at the dick sucking contest. I came first. And then fourth. You guys ever hear that phrase? Oh, they couldn't make that movie nowadays. You probably heard this phrase, you know, if you spend any time online. They couldn't make that movie nowadays. I mean, I don't really like that phrase. It doesn't really mean anything, you know? It's like, oh, they couldn't build the pyramids today. Like, probably not, man. What's your point? You want to do it? What are you talking about, you know? I don't know, man. It just feels like performative whining, you know? It's BS, IMO. Now you're talking about blazing saddles. But it is fucking crazy I brought up acronyms, because there is one exception to the rule that I just created. There's one movie you couldn't make nowadays. We all know what it is. It is, say it with me now. That's right, E.T. Yep. Could not make E.T. today, folks. You kidding me? What's he gonna do? E.T. Too anxious to talk on the phone. And you know they'd make that motherfucker non-binary, folks. You kidding me? Little NBET walking around? Part of the LGBT? ETQ+, come on, man. Are these Reese's Pieces gluten-free? Got that gangly glowing finger walking around like, does E.T. have permission to touch? Actually, consent's fine. We'll skip that part of it. But what about this? That scene where they put on the dress and the wig? It's not gonna be funny or sexy. It's gonna be political. I'm sorry, did I stutter? I wanna fuck E.T. But I didn't come here to talk about that dumbass shit, everybody. I came to talk about Jesus. The original extraterrestrial, you know what I'm saying? You know? I don't know, man. I've been thinking about Jesus a lot, man, since I saw that sticker on that mailbox. You know the one that's like, Jesus is coming back. Are you ready? No! Did anybody else know he's coming back? We gotta get ready, man. We missed like 2,000 birthdays. We gotta get this figured out, man. Trying to think of what to get to him. I was figuring like a nice aged bottle of water, you know? Nice pair of New Balances. Let that guy walk as far as he wants, you know? Maybe some CrossFit. I don't know, you know? Some gloves to cover up that whole thing he's got going on there, which, by the way, here's my question. So he's got a hole in his hand, right? Do you think he was ever just sitting there and just kind of like, I don't know, you know, like, he was just, you know, he was bored, he's like curious one day. You think I didn't say he did it, I'm just saying, maybe he thought about it, you know, virgin in a tomb for 3 days, has some thinking to do. Don't worry, I didn't come here just to talk about Jesus. I also want to talk about the Bible. Lock the door, the real show starts now. I like the Bible. The Bible's cool, man. It's the only book I can think of where the main character dies and it just keeps going. You know what I mean? More specifically, the main character dies, and then on the next page, he just comes back. Like, he just walks back in the room like, hey, guys. And they're like, didn't you die? And he's like, no. And he's like, oh, okay. What are you doing here? He's like, I just came to say hi. It's like, what are you going to do now? I guess die again. And then he just, that's it. It's just 1,000 pages of letters. Like, we're writing letters to each other now. This is high school, you know? I do like the Bible, man. My favorite story in the Bible is Jesus curses the fig tree. Nobody's read it? Perfect. I can lie. No, it's even better. This is the real story in the Bible. Jesus curses the fig tree. More notably, if you haven't read the Bible, first of all, good luck. But second of all, you might not know that the story of Jesus is told 4 times through 4 of his apostles, And Jesus cursing the fig tree only appears in 3 of those books, John was like, I don't think we have to put the cursing in there, we can do the blessings maybe, but let's just cut that out, man. But the other 3 didn't agree, so I get to tell you the story of Jesus cursing the fig tree. That's right. So Jesus and the boys, his many men, they're walking through the desert. And Jesus turns around and he says, boys, I'm hungry. His many men nod, 4 of them write that down. You never know, it could be important that he said that, Jesus scanning the environment, he sees a fig tree, Hops the fence to the back. I'm editorializing a bit, but he gets to the fig tree, And guess what? There's no figs. Where are the figs? Jesus says to his many men. And someone says, Jesus, figs aren't in season this time of year, They don't grow in the summer or whatever. And Jesus says, and I quote, well, then may no fruit ever touch this tree again. And then he touches the tree, and then it dies. What do you do if that's your tree? You know what I mean? Like you're just sitting on like a rock sofa where they did back then, watching the Flintstones or whatever. And you look out the window, you're like, hey, someone's messing with the tree. With the Son coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, amen? What's he doing with the, hey, buddy, what are you doing? Get out, what are you gonna do, fight him? There's 12 guys out there. 4 of them writing it down. You don't know what he's doing out there, I don't know, man. I think it's a cool story, man, because think about the Bible, man. It's not meant to be taken literally, except for the stuff that is, but most of it's not literal, We have to take lessons from this stuff. Like, well, what lesson were they trying to teach there, man? I've read this story a few times, whatever. What am I doing? Oh my God, I'm falling apart at the end. Can I just, okay. See, it works. All right, so the thing is that, what could this story possibly mean? You're all wondering it, I'm wondering it, but I have 2 theories for what this story could possibly mean. My first theory for what the moral of this story could be is, you're not you and you're hungry. And my second theory for what this story could possibly mean is, I don't know, I guess God hates figs. That was originally the ending, and I was like, I can't end like that. They're gonna hate me. So hey, chill. I got one more for you. I got something a little more personal. I was joking about sobriety earlier in the show. The truth is that I actually have an app on my phone that tracks sobriety, and today's a special day because today I got a notification saying it's been 3 years since I've had any alcohol. Thank you, yeah. It's crazy, man. I mean, think about it. That's 1,000 days, over 1,000 days of forgetting to reset the app. But to be fair, it's hard to remember when you're drunk as hell, you know what I'm saying? Come on. Oh yeah, thanks.
Thank you all so much for joining us tonight at Comedy Bar Danforth. We have to reset this space, so if I could please ask you to make your way out into the bar and lobby area, that would be greatly appreciated. There are 2 sets of doors to this theater, one to your left and one behind you to your right. Please use either doorway when leaving on the right side. Be sure to keep an eye on our website and our social media page at Comedy Bar Danforth and ComedyBar.ca. We've got shows here almost every night of the week, and there's probably something else you'd like to come out and see. We also teach awesome classes at our CB Pro School downstairs in sketch, improv, and stand-up comedy. And we've got classes for all ages. Get home safe, folks. Thanks so much again for joining us, and have a fantastic night.